Good afternoon. My name is Craig Nelson. I'm Assistant Chief of Support Services with the Fargo Fire Department, and I'm happy to welcome you all to the fall class of the Joint 2021 Firefighter West Fargo Recruit Class. To kick it off, I will introduce our Fire Chief, Steve Dirksen.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to have you all here. Thank you for coming. Tristan and Adam and our West Fargo, I can't remember the name right now, I've just drawn a blank, sorry about that. But you guys had 14 weeks with us, 10 weeks of fire training and 4 weeks of EMS training to prepare you to be Fargo and West Fargo firefighters. We're glad you're at this point. We need you on shift. We're a little short. We're getting ready for another class right after this starting in February, so you guys won't be the new guys very long. But you know, today you're taking a big step. You're going to become a part of our shift work, part of our department that is actually responding out on calls and serving the public. And for me, I've had the opportunity to be involved in emergency services since 1989. So if you're counting and doing math, that's 32 years. And I can't imagine a more enjoyable career of the people that I've been able to serve, the people I've been able to work with, the communities that I've been involved in. I've been a firefighter in 3 different communities and have just had a great experience in each and every one. Taking a step to Fargo was a big step 10 years ago, but I'm glad I'm here. It was everybody's going out and seeing something new and trying something different. That's what you guys are doing. You're starting with your departments today. You're starting careers serving the people riding the trucks. And I'm hoping that your careers are as long as mine. I'm hoping mine's a few more years longer yet. We're planning on that. But I just want to make sure I challenge you each and every day that your learning is not complete. Your learning is not done today. It's just starting. I had some great advice a long time ago that somebody told me, learn something new every day you're at work. We've got a library of books. You guys now have computer programs. There's articles that are more prevalent to you than were to me 30-some years ago. Learn something new. Learn how you can better serve your community. We've got a great supportive community here. Both of our communities, our elected officials in both communities have strong support for our fire departments. There's growth that's happening in our communities, and we have just great community support. People come up to me all the time and thank me for the work that our firefighters do. They tell me thank you. I said, well, it's not really me, it's the other 124 people that work for the Fargo Fire Department that do all the hard work. I just get to be the chief. But it's just a great and rewarding community. Make the most of every day. Some days are not gonna be great days. Some days are gonna be challenging. But always remember this, serve your community well, serve your fellow firefighters well, serve your family well, and you're gonna have a great long career. So welcome along onto your respective fire departments. And at this point, I'd like to invite up Mayor Mahoney.
Good afternoon. You're kind of a shy crowd here. You stayed way back. I'm a little surprised about that. You're going to come up. Usually firemen are first in line, right? Coming up there. Before I say anything else, I need to congratulate the Fargo Metro's 3 newest firefighters that are here today. You have been challenged mentally and had difficult, comprehensive 14-week training sessions. You have committed to memory the proper techniques through safety and efficiently serve as guardians in this community. You have hauled heavy hoses, practiced extraction techniques, and perfected your ladder technique, all the while donning on your turnout gear. You have persisted and rose to the challenge, speaks volume for your character. Early on when we're in our commission, when we become a commissioner, they'll take us out to the fire training grounds and they'll ask us if we want to don on gear and go into a room. And I soon learned that was not as much fun as I thought it was, because they make you kneel down when you crawl in there, and then they make you grab somebody who theoretically weighs 200 pounds. And I soon learned I'd rather not pick up somebody like Bernie who has no hair, because at least on somebody who has hair, you can pull at least on the hair and bring somebody out. I turned to Wallaker, who was the mayor before me, and I said, Denny, how did you ever do this? He was a big man and he didn't like to get in those types of situations. What he said is, he said, I made it to the door, opened it, and said, I'm done. So that was quite nice. The other thing I learned is they were trying to get infraware type of equipment so you could see bodies in a fire site area, and suddenly the fire department got the funding after that experience. So it's an interesting profession. For one of our Fargo graduates, Tristan, who is Tristan? For Tristan, community service seems to come as a second nature. I've learned your mother is a nurse anesthetist and your stepdad works for the ambulance. So you know a little bit of how to transition into service and help out. And if I was ever out in a public event, it'd be nice to have you all three around, because then you could save me for whatever trouble I get into. That's quite a family. Our other Fargo graduate, Adam, is there? Yep. Is equally impressive. I hear you entered this training program with no previous firefighting experience, but have still managed to grow and excel in this role. This firefighting team is fortunate to have someone like as determined as you to take up the training and become a firefighter. Now, Dan, I won't say anything about that. It's up to Bernie to say something about the West Fargo team, but equally, I'm very glad that you've joined our forces. It is often said about our public safety professionals that most people's interactions with you will be on one of their worst days of their lives. In those difficult times, I urge all of you to think back to when you chose to be in a public safety servant. Remember your call to serve and why you're here. And do not forget, with that service comes compassion. When interacting with the public, if they see that compassion and empathy in your face and your actions and how you manage family and how you manage all the issues that happened at that time, they'll walk away from an experience in which they'll cherish for the rest of their life. Wear your numbers 512 and 513 proudly, and honor those who have served before you with your actions. You will have the support of this city and of this community, and we have the utmost trust in you. And I love the idea that we're 512, 513. That means 500 people have gone before you and been part of the firefighters in our community. And public always comes up to me and thanks anybody who's in your uniform for what they do for our community. The other great asset we have is our fire department is our incredible training captains. It is clear that Captain Wiley, Captain Spear, and West Captain Berg are talented and dedicated to ensure recruits are well prepared and put in a position to succeed. I want to thank all three of you and the rest of the fire team for your dedication and passion for protecting our community. And finally, I must thank Chief Dirksen and Chief Fuller for your vision and collaborative spirit in continuing a joint academy. I am so proud of how we work together to get our neighboring departments to work together, resources, time, and ensures teams can work collaboratively on mutual aid efforts or events. We have a competitive nature between our two cities, but it's so great when we can work together. I was just talking to Bernie. He does a lot of things sometimes. Our Fargo residents go to school in West Fargo school districts. So I'm kind of thinking when we build our new fire station, maybe we can have the same thing happen. West Fargo can fund the Fargo fire station. I think that'd be a good payback, Bernie. That'd work real well for me. No, but getting on to seriousness of the day, we're so proud that this day comes in which you graduate and become part of our team. I'm in 9/11 came along and 2009 came along. I'm extremely proud of my team that I have here. I think they're the finest in the nation. You know, everybody who ever works on anything in the community that the firefighters are called for, you all do a tremendous job. And we don't often get a time to thank you for that. But thank you to everybody who's chosen this life of service and works for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney. Usually at this point, Chief Fuller would speak. He was unable to be here today, but he was able to make a video, so we'll play this video.
My name is Dan Fuller. I'm the fire chief for the city of West Fargo, and I apologize for not being there in person today. It is Monday the 20th, and as I'm taking this video, I am feeling a cold coming on, and I'm not sure what form I'm going to be in on Wednesday. So as a backup plan, I'm taking this video today so that I can get to at least give my message to everyone who is graduating and give you my congratulations. First off, to Chief Dirksen and Mayor Mahoney and Commission President DARDIS, thank you very much for supporting our two departments. We are very honored to be involved in this again. This is becoming a habit. This is becoming a routine to continually have these recruit academies as we are adding positions to both our fire departments. We're in a very advantageous position right now that both of our communities see the need to have dedicated fire and emergency services at the ready with good response times throughout both cities. We are very lucky, very, very lucky to have that. So I thank you. To the recruits and your families, congratulations. You've made it this far. You've made it through entry testing. You've made it through your 10-week probationary period or your 10-week academy, and some of you 4 weeks in EMS. And now you're going into your probationary period, and hopefully when you finish that, you're a full-fledged member of the fire department. A couple of things and pieces of advice that I would give both the recruits and their families. Number one, this is the best job in the world, hands down. Anyone who's wearing a badge in that room right now will tell you that is the truth. We have our bad days. Some of us get a little crabby sometimes, but this is the best job in the world. This is, the job that most people show up to work early for. If you don't show up to your shift early, people ask you what's wrong. This is the one job where people show up early and stay late, and they don't complain about it because this is the best job. The impact you have on the members of our communities is immeasurable. And the public trust that you have, that everyone else in this room has earned before you and is passing on to you today, is great. There's, a saying that, in most cultures, when someone is born and when someone dies are two very special occasions, very private occasions, and most every culture in the world. But here, we're personally invited to those calls. We're personally invited when that happens. When someone's born out of the hospital, they call the fire department. When someone dies out of the hospital, they call the fire department. We're there. Huge amount of trust that we're going to do the right thing. So don't let them down, okay? Don't let yourself down. This job is going to be tough. There are going to be days you come home and you wonder why you're doing it. There are going to be things you're going to see and hear and do that are going to rattle you and make you scared, make you upset, make you sad. It's okay. We're not big, tough people who everything bounces off us. We're human. If you need help, ask for it. If you're having mental health issues, behavioral health issues, challenges, whatever you want to call it, ask for help. Both organizations have a great support system. Our peer assistance counseling team, our chaplaincy, and going to the point of getting into actually having mental health professionals that we can call to get you help. It is okay, but you have to ask. And you have to ask before something gets so bad that you quit. Okay? Thank you to the families. Like I said, this job is tough. Being away every third day doesn't sound like it's a big deal. Every third day you're at the fire station. Yeah, well, birthdays happen third days. Christmases happen every third day. Thanksgiving, vacations. It's a dedication, and it is tough sometimes to balance that. But to the recruits, thank your family members. Thank the people in your life that are important to you, that are going to support you through this endeavor. It is very important. Okay. I think that's all I have. So again, congratulations. See everyone. I'll probably see you on the street sometime. Have a good day.
Thank you to Chief Fuller for that message. Next up, I would like to invite the Commission President for West Fargo up to say a few words. Commission President DARDIS, sorry.
Who thought that we'd come to this wonderful event to hear Mayor Mahoney talk about my hairstyle, for crying out loud? Good afternoon. On behalf of the City Commission of the City of West Fargo, Dan, welcome to our firefighters. in West Fargo. We're very proud of the department that we're building out there. We haven't had a full-time fire department for very long, but the men and women that are involved in that fire protection in our community are amazing human beings. And that's a key point. They're amazing human beings. And Chief Dirksen, thank you. Thank you for this collaborative effort that we've had together with the city of West Fargo and Fargo. 3 years ago now, Cheyenne was tore up with construction. 52nd Avenue was tore up in Fargo with construction. County 17 to Horace was tore up in construction. And these two gentlemen, our leaders, Chief Dirksen, Chief Fuller, and their command staff worked out a deal that any time that there was a fire call south of I-94, both departments responded to make sure that they were there in a timely fashion in order to protect the citizens that needed their help, whether it was a medical call or if it was a fire call. As Mayor Mahoney alluded to, that's not happening in a lot of communities in America today. But we're very proud that it's here. We thank Chief Dirksen and Chief Fuller for their leadership, their command staff that works together. This effort today of the training that takes place between the two cities and sharing resources and the like is just an amazing thing. And as an elected official, and as Mayor Mahoney said too, we're both very, very proud of that. I want to address it to the families also that are here, the loved ones that are here. Whether you're a mom or dad or a brother or a wife or significant other or a child of one of these men in blue that are dressed here today, thank you. Thank you for supporting them for what they do. As was mentioned earlier, it's often when you're called, it's the worst day in somebody's life. But thank God that we have people like you that are responding to it, are sympathetic, empathetic, and take care of them. So we're grateful for that. When I talked about some of the character of the people that join the ranks of our fire departments, it's amazing. You guys are out filling the boot. You guys are out ringing the bell for the Salvation Army. I'm the chairman of the Red Kettle campaign this year, and I've seen fireman after fireman out ringing the bell, trying to help people that are in need. I was at an event here just recently over at the Salvation Army, and Chief, I think you must have had 8 or at least, you had 2 units there, at least 2 trucks there. And that's an amazing thing because it goes beyond what you're sworn to do and to protect and serve our citizens, but you're always there to help the community. And that speaks volume for the men and women that wear those uniforms. So on behalf of a grateful community, Dan, welcome to all the firefighters from West Fargo. Thank you. To all the firefighters in Fargo, thank you. Have a good day.
Next up, I'm going to ask the training captains from Fargo and West Fargo to come up and say a few words. These are the folks that spent the last 14 weeks with our recruits and taught them everything they know to this point.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chief Dirksen, Chief Fuller, if he was present, Mayor Mahoney, Commission President DARDIS, recruits, family, friends. I'd like to start with thanking each of you for this opportunity to help lead Adam, Tristan, and Dan into their career in the fire service. It is an honor and a privilege to serve the citizens of Fargo, and I thank you for that opportunity. To Adam, Tristan, and Dan, on September 20th, you started a journey together. Since that time, you compiled 280 hours of fire service training on the basic skills such as moving and placing, working off of ladders, forcing entry, search and rescue, vehicle extrication, and of course, locating and extinguishing fires. Along with that, you also spent 88 hours observing crews as they respond to emergencies and work on other assignments to help the departments meet their mission. Finally, Adam and Tristan put in an additional 120 hours towards EMS training. All told, that's 488 hours. And that doesn't include the extra time spent reading course material and preparing for 2 full days of comprehensive competency testing. 488 hours over 14 weeks. That's a lot, and you should all be proud. But ultimately, what does it amount to? Most firefighters in our city serve 30 years. The time you spent in academy is equal to less than 1% of your career. As I noted earlier, you've learned a lot over these last 14 weeks. You've refined many skills, but you've probably only touched on 1% of what there is to know in the fire service. There's a lot more work to do. Chief Dirksen addressed that in his remarks as well. In the past, I've challenged classes to set a goal to be a good firefighter each and every day. Not a great one, just a good one. Challenge yourself to improve 1% every time you put on the uniform. At the end of 30 years, you'll have that great career. And it'll give you the opportunity to serve the citizens of Fargo and Western Fargo to the fullest. So with that, gentlemen, congratulations.
Good afternoon, commissioners, mayors, chiefs, everyone watching, and family and friends that are here. Thank you for joining us and taking part in such a great day. We're here today to celebrate the end of the academy and the beginning of a rewarding career serving the citizens of West Fargo and Fargo. These recruits, as the others have said, have put in 14 hard weeks. Hose loads, hose deployments, forcible entry in EMS. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? Yeah. This was not just about checking the boxes, though. This was about getting repetitions in until they got it right, and then until they couldn't get them wrong. So, helping instruct these 3 firefighters has been a great pleasure. In the 14 weeks, they have received a great foundation to stay solid firefighters throughout their whole career. And I wish them a long and healthy career in our departments. Congratulations, Dan, Adam, and Tristan. Welcome to our fire families.
Good afternoon. I got the opportunity to work with these guys mainly with the EMT, and then a lot of the live burns and such through the fire. So Dan bailed on us for EMT, but for the 2 Fargo guys, Adam and Tristan, you guys know how intense it was. We did just under 1,600 pages in our EMT book in 4 weeks with, you guys know how many skills we did, and we still had some ride-alongs. It was a lot of work, and you guys put in the effort, and I thank you for that, and you had good attitudes. Thank you to the girlfriends, Emily and Sophia, for putting up with what they probably said about me or all the reading. I don't want to know. But with over half of our calls in the fire service being EMS, it is good to know, continue to improve that trade, because it can be very rewarding in the end. I'm proud of you guys, and more importantly, I hope you guys are proud of yourselves for getting through that. Just remember, don't have too much fun tonight, because you have your National Registry test in the morning. Thank you.
All right, they spent 14 weeks in class. We have a video now to give you a little taste of what they've been up to.
So the Fire Training Academy in Fargo is a 14-week academy. 10 weeks concentrate on fire skills and 4 weeks concentrate on EMS skills. In recent years, the city of West Fargo has transitioned to a more full-time fire department, and as they brought that staff up to that level, cooperation between the two departments started to build. We have a mutual aid agreement to where we'll share resources on larger events, either into the city of West Fargo or into the city of Fargo. So there was just kind of a natural relationship there that allowed us to build out the training to not only accommodate that mutual aid, but then to also make both departments better through training.
It has been a great partnership. We share borders, so it's been working out really good, and I think in the future we're going to have a lot more workings together.
A lot of training, fire training in particular, in the past focused on just doing. It was more about the what to do rather than the how and the why. So we're really, as a fire service, trying to move past that and into understanding the why. So having the classroom component gives us that opportunity to discuss, we're putting a ladder up, sure we're putting it up to this window, but why are we doing it? So that we have smarter firefighters on the fire ground making decisions rather than just reacting to something that's happening.
Yeah, it was nice being on the training ground. We don't have to go very far. If you got some questions, we can literally go right outside and, hands-on do it. If something doesn't make sense, maybe how you're imagining it, you can go right outside and do it. So yeah, it's nice to learn a little bit and then do it and then kind of keep going like that. So.
Yeah, you can't sit in a classroom and learn how to force a door. You can't sit in a classroom and learn how to drag somebody out. You have to get out there in the bunker gear, in the coats, in the SCBAs, and actually do it.
So the CPR dummies are pretty high tech. I mean, they would hook up to a laptop and they could tell you how deep you were going, how fast you were going. It would tell you to speed up or slow down, and it would down to like 1/10 of an inch for the depth. It took us a little while to get the hang of it, but once you got the hang of it, the dummies were a great tool for really getting it figured out.
I would say really the live burns were really beneficial. We're never going to get too comfortable working in that environment, so just getting the different experience from that and working with the different crews for that matter. Actually, so our level 3 burn day, we were with different crews. And that was really nice because we got to see, what different people would want, and just moving within the fire itself was really helpful.
You're going through a building, especially our first fire, we weren't all that familiar with our training building yet. So we get in there and we have no idea what's left, right, what the rooms are. It's totally dark. You can't see more than 2 feet in front of you. Just figure out how to work through it and find that fire and get it out.
So one of the big benefits of the live fire scenarios is taking those skills, hose advancement, forcible entry, search and rescue, and putting them into a higher stress environment. We can't simulate everything in the burn building that you would typically see on the fire ground, but we can add some heat, we can add some visibility restrictions, and things of those nature that complicate the skills even further.
So that was probably our first exposure to being truly can't see anything. And then that building we had really never seen other than just a little bit that morning. And it was fully furnished with tables and chairs and couches and coffee tables. So trying to go through that, it was a little bit disorienting, but the way they told us to do it in our classroom, it all made sense. And you just kind of followed a wall and worked your way around and searching underneath things of how to search cribs and then dragging your tool and checking doors, and it actually made a lot of sense. And after we went through it a few times, it seemed like we were really flying through the search of the first floor. It was just a piece of wax paper inside of our mask, so you could kind of make out colors, but you couldn't tell definite shapes. Everything was just a big blur.
It was a little hard to balance with different parts of your body trying to float to the top and trying to keep oriented, but it wasn't too cold until the water started to leak in. We tried to get to a certain point and you think you're doing well and you're really close, and then 2 seconds later the current takes you 20 feet down. It's just crap, now you gotta try to work your way all the way, either back out of the strong current, work your way back around, or try fight the current, which it's not easy.
The suits that we have, they do really good at keeping us warm and buoyant. They aren't necessarily the most comfortable and easy. The dexterity in them is really bad, but again, really good to get in the suit and get comfortable with them, because it's not a good day when we have to put them on and make a rescue. So the more comfortable we can be in them, the better.
That's been my favorite day of all so far. So I mean, I grew up hanging out in lakes country a lot and always liked swimming, so I was kind of excited for water rescue. We got to do it. It was super fun. Definitely the hardest swimming I've ever done. It's like trying to swim with muck boots and a Carhartt suit on. You can kick and kick and kick, and you just can't get any speed, but yet you can float all over the place, grabbing lines and trying to fight the rapids in the banana boat. In a way, it might have looked like we were just kind of goofing around, but we were definitely training. So one day we're swimming in the red, and the next day we're 100 feet up in the ladder truck, swinging the platform around, and then getting off the platform and onto the roof or off the ladder and climbing in through a window at like the 5th story. It was a lot of fun. The crews were really awesome that we got to work with.
Yeah, getting the platform right up and then trying to climb in the window, and as long as you're strapped in when you're making all of your movements, it's not, you know, like you're not gonna fall, and so it makes it a little easier. If you're unhooking yourself, which you shouldn't do, and then climbing in, yeah, that'd be a little bit different. But yeah, you're hooked in the whole time, so it's not too bad.
So I mean, we kind of get to ride on every single truck. We get to meet a lot of the crews. We do our ride-alongs every Friday. We get to meet a lot of them. They come up and participate in our training, so we get an idea of what our daily training is going to look like when we get into our station assignments. We get to know what some of the guys are like, and we get familiar with the equipment because they're not all the exact same.
You know, you get these tools, and they're big and they're heavy, and you know, a lot of people have experience using power tools, but the amount of power that those tools have is just ridiculous. I mean, you can just cut through the frame of the car and just everything without any troubles. I mean, it's ridiculous how strong they are.
But like I said, it's kind of another thing where you learn about it in the book, but once you get your hands on and you know you feel the weight of this, or it's trying to clamp down and it's kind of pushing the whole tool kind of towards you, left, right, whatever, versus just clipping the door off or hinges, stuff like that. But yeah, no, I hadn't worked with it, so it was kind of fun to get hands on. If it's something that you think you want to do, I think it's a great career to go for, and Academy is really good in teaching us everything we need to know.
I mean, I was Fire 1 certified before I came here, and I learned more in this 10 weeks than I have in probably 2 or 3 years of volunteer experience, and that. We get a lot of reps touching on everything and that you need to know.
I thought it was great. I really benefited from it, you know, both in just learning from the lectures and the books and taking the tests, but especially the hands-on, going through it, and Captain Willie was really thorough with the training in it, so it was really beneficial to me and my skills to make me a better firefighter.
I think it's been very successful. I think we are holding a high standard of what we're getting done here, and the training that they're getting once they come off of this truck is amazing. They have had reps after reps after reps to get things right and to make sure they're doing it the right way. So I expect high things out of these 3 firefighters when they get onto their trucks and with their crews.
Looking at test scores, looking at their abilities to complete the skills, I feel like we've been successful in moving this academy forward. A lot of that pays to the abilities of the 3 candidates that we put through the academy, but it's been a really good working relationship as well with our 2 training captains, and then Chief Berg from West Fargo. We've worked together well to blend the learning and then support the candidates as they work through academy.
All right, we'll call the recruits up for the oath. Adam, would you please come up? And Tristan? And Dan? For Fargo Fire, we have Fire Marshal Ryan Erickson will be reading the oath.
Fargo Fire Department candidates, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Tristan.
Do solemnly swear. That I will faithfully execute the duties of the position of firefighter for the City of Fargo Fire Department.
for the City of Fargo Fire Department.
I will, to the best of my ability, work to reduce the rate of emergencies through public education and code enforcement, protect lives and property from fire and other emergencies, and respond to emergencies in a professional and courteous manner. So help me God.
And for West Fargo, we'll have Deputy Chief Tom Clark.
City of West Fargo, recruit, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota, and that I will faithfully follow the orders of the Fire Chief and to the orders of the officers appointed over me, to the best of my ability, so help me God.
All right, the fun part, the badge pinning. First up for Adam Brewers will be Fargo Fire badge number 512. He's going to C shift, and his girlfriend Sophia is going to pin his badge on. Next, Tristan Walsh is badge number 513. He's going to B shift, and his girlfriend Emily is going to pin his badge. All right. Dan Lipson is going to group number 1 of the West Fargo Fire Department, and his wife Cassandra and his son Patrick are going to pin his badge. All right, congratulations to all 3 of you, and thank you all for coming. That concludes our ceremony. We will be able to do pictures and so forth afterwards for family, friends, whoever. So thank you for coming.